It's my pleasure to introduce Marie-Hélène Aubert, who is a member of President François Hollande's cabinet and his advisor on international climate and environmental negotiations. She has a fantastic public career, having been a member of the French Green Party from 1990 till 2008. She has been a conseiller régional and also a deputy member of the National Assembly. She has had a diverse career as a teacher of French literature initially. She has a master's degree in agricultural development and economic policies from the Institute for Studies of Economic and Social Development at Université de Paris 1. One thing I'd like to ask the Minister if she will touch on in her remarks. Last night, President Obama gave his State of the Union speech, and he did talk a little bit about U.S. environmental policy, and he said that I'm quoting, over the past 8 years, the United States has reduced our total carbon pollution more than any other nation on Earth. I didn't know that. It's an interesting fact, and I just mentioned that to you, Minister, because you are deeply involved in the planning for the climate change conference, the conference of the parties to the United Nations framework on climate change. So I think we're on the record. Is that correct? You speak on the record, and so feel free to share with us your thoughts about how France is doing and also how the United States is doing on this very important issue. So please welcome Marie-Hélène Aubert. Thank you for that.
So thank you very much for your invitation. Bonjour à tous et à toutes. I'm not yet a minister, but only advisor, as you have mentioned. So my role near the President of the French Republic, François Hollande, is to build with him and of course ministers of the government, Laurent Fabius, Pascal Canfin, who is the Minister for the Development, and Pascal Martin, who is Minister for Environment and Energy, is to build an agenda until COP21 that will take place in Paris, Le Bourget, in December 2015. So, just when he was elected, President Hollande announced in September 2012 the availability of France to host COP21. Why he did so? Because first we think it's an enormous challenge that we are facing, climate change, with huge impacts, and impacts also on our economy, on our societies, and with very physical impacts on many regions, especially in the United States too. I think Sandy created some awareness, I think, of the seriousness of climate change and global warming at the scale of the planet. So, in this perspective, there are many steps we have to cross. First, the European Union has to adopt an ambitious position for its energy climate package towards 2030. Very recently, last week, President of the European Commission, Barroso, announced a proposal for 40% of reduction of greenhouse gas emissions, then abiding targets, 27% of renewables, abiding a target but at European level, and no target for the moment in energy efficiency, because there is a discussion for the moment about the energy efficiency directive, so it will come later on. So now there are discussions between the 28 member states and also within the European Parliament that itself adopt some objectives more ambitious than the proposal coming from Barroso. And on the 20th and 21st of March will take place a summit of chiefs of state and government of the European Union, to which the President Hollande will participate, of course. And then this summit will have to decide what will be the position, the European position for energy and climate policies for 2030, so post-2020, because the last package was adopted in 2008 with 3 objectives: 20% reduction of greenhouse gas emissions, 20% of renewables, and 20% for energy efficiency. About this last package, I guess that we are supposed globally to reach those objectives. The not binding one, energy efficiency, may be the most difficult to reach, but globally, about the 20% of reduction of greenhouse gas emissions and renewables, we should be, I think, on time. So the question is what we will do at the European level after 2020 and what we decide globally in 2015. Everything is linked. Then at the national level, as you know, the government and the president decide to impulse what we call an energy transition with several objectives, and saving energy and energy efficiency, developing renewables, and diversify the French energy mix with a part of nuclear power coming from 75% in the French electricity for the moment to 50% in 2025. So last year there was a large debate with all stakeholders, economic actors, NGOs, local authorities, and etc. And that gave some results, and of course there were debates, divisions, divergence, that's normal. But there were several options on the table, and just now there is an energy law in preparation that should be published next spring or summer to be adopted before the end of the year. So we have a national level, European level, and then international level. And in 2015, so that was the term, because it's the way it functions, for Western European and other group countries to host the conference. And France decided to propose its candidature to host this very important conference, because we are supposed to reach this global agreement according to the decisions taken in Durban in 2011. And we have also, it's not only a question of international conference and climate negotiations, but we have also to impulse a new economy, a new green economy, and with the right financial tools, economic tools, and laws and framework, a stable framework, because when you want to invest in energy, you need to have 15 or 20 years of visibility to know where you go. So we are at a very crucial moment, I think, not only for climate, but also to organize a transition, not only in France or in the European Union, but at a global level, towards from fossil fuels towards something else. Renewables, saving energy, energy efficiency, new ways of transport, of building, of saving all natural resources, water, energy, not only CO2 and carbon So we have to build a low carbon economy and globally a green economy. So what we want to do also is to change the vision many countries have, or many actors have, with regard with climate negotiations that are often perceived like constraints, lack of competitivity, breaks to growth and development, a sort of burden, and we talk, by the way, of burden sharing. So we want to go from burden sharing to positive opportunities for development, for sustainable development, and for all countries on this planet. So it's a huge challenge. France wants to take its place, endorse its responsibilities. We think diplomacy is not only a question of global security, climate also is a question of global security, but we have to develop also an economic diplomacy, an ecologic diplomacy, and adapt our diplomatic network also to the world in the 21st century, with all new challenges to face now. So I think it's a very exciting challenge. It will be difficult. We are not naive. We know that the situation is not so easy. We are happy to hear that President Obama once again considered that climate issues are quite crucial and important. He said climate change is a fact. He noticed also that it will be difficult, and we know how it will be difficult within the United States for many reasons you all know. But still, his proposals are very concrete, and he wants to go further, even if we all know that the Congress will disagree maybe with most orientations from social and environmental points of view. So I think the US are clearly allies for us. We have very positive dialogue with officials and politicians and administration around Obama. And we think there are many things to realize together, very concretely. We want also to impulse not only progress in negotiations. The climate negotiation are a text. It's words, it's wording with different parts, very complicated. But we want also, and I think for US it's an orientation very positive, and that they support, that have been supported for years, is to create what we call a positive agenda, and focusing on several sectors that could in the future create many opportunities of jobs, of activities, of a new economy. When the President will be in the United States in 2 weeks, he will go to San Francisco especially, and I'm sure we will have to meet several very innovative sectors, and some of them are clearly linked to green economy and low carbon economy. In France, we have also many savoir-faire, know-how, and many competences, and maybe that we could emphasize much more than we do today all over the world. And we have many competences and companies working in water, waste, research and development, space. We have many leverage and advantages in our hands to develop and to link those global environmental issues that are new in the international classic relationship and framework, and a new way of concerning economy, life in society, transport, building, living, livelihoods and daily life for all the inhabitants of this planet. So those are the few words I wanted to tell you today. And I'm very glad to see that there are many cooperations between France and the United States, not only on these issues, I know, but I'm sure all non-state actors, as we call them, will have a very important part to play to contribute to reach a success in 2015. It's not a success for Paris. The question is not Paris will be the best and will do best than Copenhagen, because we know it in Copenhagen was very difficult too. And we draw lessons from Copenhagen, from Durban. We met our partners from Mexico, Durban, and even Copenhagen, of course, to understand what worked, what was a failure, and to improve and to do our best now. So the difference in comparison with the past is that we anticipate a lot, and the next COP20 will take place in Peru, in Lima, at the end of this year. So we work already very closely with the Peruvian authorities, and we work also, and it's also easy with the Polish, because Poland is this year the chair of the Climate Convention. And I must say that France will host COP21, but will be the chair of the Climate Convention in 2016, not before. So our role now is to cooperate, is to listen to all preoccupations, is to impulse new agendas linking sustainable development agenda and climate and environment agendas. That's what we want to do now. So this year, there will be, for the President, very important European summit, as I mentioned, and there will be also a summit organized by Ban Ki-moon, gathering chiefs of state and government from all over the world to support the necessity to have a success on climate negotiations in 2015. So those are two big events, and for France, but there are many others. And in next December, there will be the COP20 in Lima, and it will be very important because we need at Lima a prefiguration of the global agreement in 2015. All countries have to propose contributions at the very beginning of 2015, and of course, the earliest it will be, the better it will be. So we have many things to do. We have hard work, but I think it's quite a passionate thing. It's fit to our period, so complex, so difficult, but with many positive perspectives for everybody, and especially for all activities, and to propose new activities, jobs, and profitability for everybody, and of course a better life, because if we don't do something ambitious, I think life on the planet will become very difficult for many people on this planet during the next years. Thank you for your attention, and of course I'm available to answer to questions or exchange with you. Thank you very much.